Today we're going to talk to you about abs. Everyone wants a good set of abs, but the question is, how do you get a good set of abs? A lot of people ask the question, how often should I be training? Should I be training twice a week, 3 times a week, after every session? You know, what is the answer? Well, first of all, I want to let you know into a little secret, which is basically that me and Rakesh don't actually train abs at all. So that doesn't mean that we don't have any abs. If you've ever seen my transformation video, or Rakesh's, which is the How to Bulk Up a Friend in 12 Weeks video, you'll see that we do have abs, and that training them in isolation isn't necessarily needed in order to actually gain them. The reason you don't need to do that is because if you follow our sort of philosophy in our training programs, such as the EHF program which is on our blog, you'll see that the focus is on really heavy compound movements, mainly the deadlift, bench, squat and overhead press. But we have two main areas. Squat and the deadlift is really good for overall core strength. That's because basically you're moving the most weight and you've got to keep your core really steady so that your form stays strong and that your back doesn't cave in. But then you've got the overhead press, which works as serratus. So basically, as you're having to hold the weight over the top, as well as working your shoulders, you're also working your serratus, which is this area just here, which is fantastic, which is an area that a lot of people don't really focus on when they're doing their abs. They just try and do crunches over and over and over again. But the reason we don't really train in isolation isn't necessarily just because we're doing that, but it's also because, as well as doing that, doing something in isolation on top of that can have an impact on those actual lifts. So if we're training 4 times a week and we choose one day as an abs day, which is what a lot of you guys really want to do, then you'll find that your core is a lot weaker because as it's recovering for the next session, which means that you won't be able to lift as much. And we believe that that has a detrimental effect on your overall physique, as those 4 lifts, as well as the accessory exercises that go with it, you'll find that it just impacts it, and that's not really what we want. So there are a couple of things we can do. So first of all, if you train in this sort of style from the beginning, say you haven't yet started yet, and you want to follow one of our programs, then you're probably going to be fine. But either if you come to a sticking point where your core is an issue, or it already is an issue, then what you can do is, instead of having a separate day for it, just tack on a couple of exercises for say maybe 4 or 5 sets at the end of the session completely. So don't just put it in the middle of the session, put it right at the end. So your core's already going to have had quite a lot of work done during the session, and then you'll have this to top up. And you'll find that if you have your core already, you'll find that this really strengthens it for when you come to do your lifts. So you may find that your main lifts over the next couple of months will really shoot up, and that isn't because your main muscle groups, sort of, you know, say your chest and shoulders for bench press. It's not that they're necessarily going to be miles stronger, although they will be. It's because your weak part will be a lot stronger, which can really help. There is also one other thing that we should talk about, which is about body fat percentage. So that is the key, really, to looking like you have abs. You'll see plenty of girls that are all going crazy over guys that have, you know, really sick abs, as some of them say. But you'll find that really they're just thin and they don't have a lot of body fat on them, so their abs are visible. But as you're doing bodybuilding, powerlifting, weightlifting, any form of lifting, to be honest, you'll find that your core will be stronger naturally through the movements, and that will make your core bigger. Therefore, when you cut, it will look nicer. But again, some people lose body fat in certain areas faster than others, which is purely genetics, which isn't actually something you can help. So you may be one of those guys that just finds that the body fat around the abdomen is the last place to go. For most people it usually is, but you will find some people that are genetically gifted in the sense that they will lose that first or quite quickly before they lose it on areas such as the back of the legs. So that's just something you need to bear in mind and just deal with it. Whilst you are training, remember to have fun, you know. Don't focus on one area such as your abs and just keep going for it. If it is a weak area, attack it, but don't just get obsessed with it. Remember, there is a whole load of other areas of your physique and also your strength in general. So remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you want any more advice. Leave any comments below if you want us to answer any of your questions. And remember to follow the blog. So we'll see you guys there. Hope you enjoyed the video.